So, Americano, did you open a cap already and tear it off going, hey, what the hell's wrong with this? And you tore it off, or did you leave it hanging like this?
Oh, man, perfect timing, because look at me right now with this mineral water.
Yeah, they all do it.
Yeah.
They all do it. But I did already. I did tear it off my first bottle of water. I thought it was like stuck or something, and I tore it off. And then I didn't realize that here they actually do something really smart with the bottle cap, actually. So it's actually smart because you don't lose it, and it's not like you're littering two things. That you throw the cap in one place and you throw the bottle somewhere else. So it's all together. So I kind of smart, actually. They should do that in America. That makes a lot of sense, that little thing.
There's so many things we can pick up on. So I mean, you don't lose your bottle cap just walking around. So I mean, if you lose it early on in your drink, you might be walking around for like an hour without being able to top it off. And then picking up on a lot of other different things that I enjoy about the Spanish culture. The way they speak Spanish as opposed to Miami Spanglish.
Pues sí, hombre. Pues sí, gallego. Es seguro. Sí. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a trip.
Con Orlando Alzugaray.
Alzugaray, sí. Yeah. Soy vasco, chico. Yo soy vasco. La gente mía son de las montañas. That's what it is. That's the Basco. The Basco people are from the mountains, supposedly. That's what it is. So
mi familia de Salamanca.
There you go. See. Yeah. So and by the way, did you notice that they have 2 levels of underground tunnels under the city?
I have not gone under. So
2 levels. We only went to the second. There's a third. So
that's another thing I noticed, though.
That's how 7 million people,
like
egress in this damn place, dude. 7 million, bro.
Yeah, I did notice elevators. Since there is elevation around here, it's not, it's 0 for ground floor. And then there is like a -1 on the elevator, or a negative, like for example at the facility where the Dolphins are practicing, which is Estadio Metropolitano of Atletico Madrid. Their elevator in the facilities where we're working, they have the interview room on 0, the ground floor where we enter, and they have a media workroom on -3. So you go down. Yeah, so it goes down from where you enter. So, as opposed to just the lowest one being 0 and then everything working up. So it's interesting in that regard too. Just different things you pick up being in another country.
Yeah, and the architecture here is just ridiculous, bro.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Although I will say, what's it called? The Plaza? What is it? Gran Plaza or whatever?
Plaza Mayor?
Plaza Mayor. Not that impressive.
Okay.
You went to it, right?
So the first night I got in, I got in Tuesday morning, but try to get some work stuff figured out, take a little nap. By the time I actually got out, it was already sunset hour. It was already dark out by the time I walked my way over to Plaza Mayor. And so it was dark out. I saw they were, working on some
the Christmas tree and all that other stuff. And all that,
yeah, right. They're working on stuff. So it was kind of like incomplete when I saw it. It wasn't lit yet. I don't know if it is now. So
no, it's not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah.
They won't light it up till November 22nd. That's when they light up all the trees that you're seeing that they're putting together all throughout the city, and they're putting all the Christmas stuff all over the place and all that kind of stuff. So he's talking about. But the whole place is super impressive. Plaza Mayor is probably the least impressive one out of it. And the other thing also, it's actually smaller than what I thought. When I saw it in pictures, it looked like it was like, much wider and bigger. And then when I stepped in, it was like, And you go during the day, it's kind of dirty. Everything else is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Plaza Mayor, I was like, wow, this is the only thing unimpressed. This is the only thing, dude. And don't eat there, by the way. Don't eat there. Don't eat in those. It's a tourist trap.
Okay. Good to know. I ate, several blocks away. I was working my way over there. I mean, you're
a big shot. You went to La Gran Via and you were eating in some place right across from Rolex or some shit. You probably bought a Rolex after that too. That's what you did. I get it. I get it. A salary you're on it in the Sunset. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I probably should make some expensive purchase, given that this is a work trip for me. So how much I'm saving on just having it expensed by the company, I should at least put something forward for some memorabilia. But I hear you're debating to or calling for Plaza Mayor to be downgraded to Plaza Menor.
Yes, Plaza Menor, no Plaza Mayor, Plaza Menor. Yeah. Yeah, it's that's the only thing that I was not impressed with. Everything else, God, La Gran Via is just ridiculous, bro. And the I don't know, from the building of agriculture to the Prado Museum to the park. We're gonna go to the park tomorrow to go try to walk some of it, not all of it, because that thing is ginormous. But I'm dying to see the park too. We drove around it today several times, because we took a couple of tours and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's a fun place. All right, so let's first get to the bad news, and it's kind of sad, to be quite honest, that Garfinkel announced that the Dolphins are trying to cut a deal like the Jags, where they're going to give away a home game now every year, and that sucks, because that kind of, in a way, you're almost giving up on being a great team and taking advantage, because the Packers are never going to do that. You know what I'm saying? The Steelers are never going to do that. The Seahawks are never going to do that. There are teams all across. The Dallas Cowboys are not going to give away a home game. Okay? They got 100,000 people always in that building. And so it's it's cheesy to do something like this now. And it's sad, dude, because I'm old enough to remember the 70s and the 80s. And David, football was monster, bro. Monster. You couldn't get enough people in the damn building constantly. It was a whole different vibe. And, we're seeing it now with the Panthers. And it's kind of a shame. So I'm just wondering your thoughts on the Dolphins trying to make this commitment.
Yeah, as soon as I read that in that great story, great interview that ESPN's Kaylin Collar had with Tom Garfinkel, I immediately thought about the local fans who have to be seeing this and thinking, what about us? What about the ones who are loyal to you? From their perspective, they got to take it as, okay, the Dolphins saying, we know we got you, and we know you're going to be right back here, and we know that you're going to keep buying season tickets, but we're going to keep trying to expand the business side of it to make more money on our end, and it'll be at your expense, at your it'll lessen the product that you have available to you by one regular season game every other year, maybe possibly expanding to most
year.
seasons. Yeah, right. Because right now they're on an every other year track. 2023, it was actually a road game that they lost, which was uncommon because we know most of the Dolphins' international games were a home game taken away. One time, even a divisional game against the Jets. But I think about the local fans and how, you're not going to be getting those years where you have the 9 regular season games, getting the most of your money's worth from your season ticket package. We understand the branding that the Dolphins want to do. Yes, become the team of the Spanish-speaking world. That's something to aspire to, especially being the team coming out of Miami, where there's such a Spanish-speaking population. But every single turn, the local fans have something taken away from them. If it's a home game that's going internationally, more often than not now, it was parking because they got a racetrack, they got the Miami Open. These are all grand projects that the Dolphins are doing, but it comes at the expense of the loyal Dolphins fan base that is right there for the organization. So I can understand, some of the diehards being upset when they read that.
Yeah, to me, it's sad because it shows me that you have no confidence in yourself as an organization to be great. And so let's just go for the money. And for people that are wondering if Stephen Ross will ever sell, they'll never sell. His family will run it. Why would you ever sell a cash cow like this? It's stupid to sell. Nobody in the NFL has a property like the Dolphins, where it's a stadium and an F1 race and is there. I mean, who the hell else shares it with the top 25 college football team? And then you start throwing in the concerts and the festivals and the tennis tournament. Oh my God, dude. I mean, you're producing an incredible amount of money year round in that place. So it's just really a money-making thing. It's not that winning is the priority. When you tell me that, I can't believe that. It's hard for me to believe this.
Yeah. It kind of falls on deaf ears when they say, yes, we are trying to win and we are trying to bring postseason success, because, yeah, if you're a Dolphins fan that doesn't care about all that other stuff, you are a fan of the Dolphins because of the football product, and maybe you'll buy a ticket to the F1 Miami and go check it out because you kind of dabble in that too, or you dabble in tennis a little bit, so you'll go check it out on the Hard Rock Stadium grounds. Or you are a crossover University of Miami and Dolphins fan, then sure, you'll be spending weekends at Hard Rock Stadium doing the back-to-back of a Saturday Canes game and a Sunday Dolphins game, but you're not seeing the same level of commitment to bring in the first playoff win in 25 years that you want to see when their priorities seem to be with continuing to grow this product, this sphere that they have of everything that is now the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. And listen, if you're going to make a home, Madrid's a great home. I mean, this is a pretty cool place to be at. I mean, it's a fantastic city. The people are really nice. It's a great place. There's no doubt about it. But it has nothing to do with Madrid or London or whatever, Germany, whatever it is. It has nothing to do with that, dude. This is your team. It's not like Real Madrid is going to give up a home game over and put it in Miami. They would never do that. You know what I'm saying? Atletico Madrid is not going to give up a home game and put it in Miami. So why the hell should we give up a game? And, if you want to give up a game, make it a road game, but you're going to give up a home game now. And this is where I think we're getting to that point where you're about to push the fan completely away. That's all I'm saying. Unless you have some miracle turnaround and start winning, okay, I think Miami fans, will start turning away from this product, because at one point or another, you're going to see it's really not about winning. It's only about making money. And so I think we're starting to get to that point. They'll have their international fans, they'll have the visiting fans that will take the seats, but I think you're starting to push that fan over the edge with this. I really do.
I don't know. I don't know if you ever will, because this is the NFL. If there's one franchise in South Florida that is always consistently drawing and has loyal following, it's the Dolphins. I mean, even the Heat when they're down. I mean, I think the big three Heat sort of established something that will remain consistent. I think probably maybe we have to see sort of years down the road what happens with the Florida Panthers, but back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Maybe there's a possibility, some potential of a loyal following even during.
Here's what I'm going to give you. You're right to a certain extent. But why I think it's going to start to go the other way, the Dolphins have been carried by an old fan base, not a new fan base.
Yeah.
The old fans are the ones that buy all the suites and all the tickets and everything else. Yeah, you got your section of younger fans, but they don't outnumber the old fans, dude. They just don't. And you're going to start pissing off old fans because you're not winning. And now you're going to give up a home game. You get the logo. I mean, it's one thing after another, and they're dying. Because I'm nearly 60. So I'm just saying, you're turning a corner now. I know the NFL is Teflon. I know the Dolphins have been Teflon for a while. But I think it's because that older, loyal fan base has stuck there and has brought their kids and has bought the tickets and all that kind of stuff. But I think in the next 5 to 10 years, it'll start to change and it'll be even more transitory than it's ever been because of this. because unless you start winning, I think you got to start producing substance, bro. And they never produce any substance. That's the part that sucks.
That's the thing. The older, loyal fan base has already stuck through the past 25 years. So I feel like from their perspectives, you're looking at it like I'm saying the Dolphins brass. They're looking at it like we got them. Like no matter what we do, they're going to keep coming. And maybe it does turn at some point, but that's why they're focused on the expansion and bringing in all the extra fans that they can from elsewhere, because. Like how every report on Mike McDaniel's speculation over his job status, what was the caveat that all the national insiders were throwing in is, well, if people stop showing up and if people stop buying tickets, but that's just at the end of the day not going to happen. They'll still show up, but they'll fly a banner over claiming what they want, what they desire to see the team do in action, but still showing up. And maybe there's some empty seats here and there, some extra patches that are popping up, but ultimately it is still the NFL. But I do hear you on if that older fan base starts to die off now, how much of a younger fan base do the Dolphins really have? Who none of these younger fans have ever seen success from this team.
Ever.
Success. Maybe like a random year or like the 22 and 23, they make a playoff appearance. 23, they showed promise, but blew a 3-game lead with 5 weeks remaining against the Bills. So that's the best.
Bro, do you know how many Dolphin fans are just Dolphin fans because of number 13?
Right.
Just him, dude.
Right.
Just him. He's the reason why they became Dolphin fans. And you've never given them anything close to that ever again. I'm just telling you, it gets to a point where you abuse people too long and then they're going to respond. And at least that's kind of what I'm reading from people and their reactions on my DM or on Twitter or whatever. It's not good, dude. It's not good. Lots of people are unhappy. And I get it. The win this past week kind of, I got some people think, oh, they're going to make a run now. They're going to win them all. And they'll bring back Mike McDaniel. It's like, yo, slow down, bro. It was just a win. It's a great win, but,
it was a great win.
Great win, but let's relax.
It was a great win. And you got a soft run of teams here where they can get to 6-7, 6-7. So that's what all the kids are doing, Big O. Sorry.
Yeah. That was, what was it yesterday that they hit 67? Oh, it was a basketball game. They somebody hit a basket and it was 67 points, and all the kids started like this. They started going crazy with the 6-7 stuff. So yeah. All right. So what do we know about Chubb?
Really, exactly what you know is that he popped up on the injury report. This is after we're watching practice. It clearly something that popped up today. Don't know the extent of it, but he is questionable for the game. So it's a tough deal to really speculate on. Something that it's a media viewing session that is early portion of practice. You leave, everyone's fine. Bradley Chubb sustains this injury that pops up on the report, and now he is questionable for Sunday. So it really might be a kind of a Sunday morning find out if he can go or can't.
What did you see from his limitations in practice? Were you able to? No,
because it had to happen.
It's only stretching.
It had to happen after the viewing portion of practice, which is a stretch, some individual drills, a special teams period. Granted, also today we had an interview. The local media that traveled to Spain, we had an interview with interim GM Champ Kelly, which spilled over into some of the practice. So so practice viewing was even more so limited this time, since we had to prioritize that. That's just a development came up today, and we'll see with Chop Robinson though coming back. So maybe if it's Chop on one side, it could be like the Judon Willie Gay rotation with some Cameron Good or Quentin Bell if he's brought back in from the practice squad. All those guys sort of mixing in, same as they did on the other side of Chubb with Chop out with concussion last game and Jalen Phillips traded by then.
So what's the highlight in the Champ Kelly press conference?
Man, so much. So first, you really get a sense of what the opportunity means to him. I brought it up to him, like, what has it been a whirlwind to get thrown into interim GM right before a trade deadline? And he said, no, not a whirlwind opportunity. And he takes everything. He's very humble. I had a tough upbringing where he told us about how his father was a drug dealer, mother was a drug addict. His grandmother mostly raised him in a small town in North Florida, right up on the Florida-Alabama border over there near Pensacola. And how everyone there works. So that's his mindset. Is just he's not looking toward, is this an audition for me? He's trying to do the best he can with this opportunity. And he also talked about some of what happened at the trade deadline. Obviously, it's asked what the Bills deal was for Jalen Waddle. He actually said, hey, not everything that goes out in the media is factual. So he didn't want to get into specifics on what deals, but he said they had their vision of what they wanted in return for players at the deadline. And if a team was willing to pay it, that player was indeed dealt. So that would mean Jalen Phillips. And he's saying that no team met the price they wanted on Jalen Waddle. He did leave the caveat that AFC East rivalry, a division rival could maybe tilt the scale a little bit as far as asking price. So there was that. And it's just so much. He really can identify with players because as there's a change in regime here, and he's in a way auditioning to shed the interim label and keep this job permanently. He identifies with players that now they're all battling for a spot down the road because there's going to be new roster management, whether it's him, whether it's someone else. So he really assimilates with the players and what they're going through because he's doing the same thing. And I think he really will command the respect of a room. Like when you hear him speak, you are locked in. So that's something he has sort of like a coach vibe to him in the GM role. So pretty unique about how you can view him in that setting.
All right, good stuff. I actually like the Dolphins this week. I think they're the better team right now. They're playing better. Question is, will Mike McDaniel play the game he played against the Bills and the Falcons, or will he be stupid and do what he did against the Ravens? That's what we don't know. And that's where, can you do it 2 weeks in a row? Actually call a hell of a game and call the right game. Call the responsible game that, by the way, gets your team going. Really. The only way your team plays well is by playing that way when you're dedicated to the running game.
Yeah, I think he has to. I think you have to feed Achane in this game. Maybe Ollie Gordon with that ankle injury, another week removed from it. Maybe he can take on a little bit more. Achane put on a show last week. I think the NFL had Jonathan Taylor put up that humongous performance in Germany. Let Achane go off in Spain. Let the international audience see what kind of a blazer he is. I would be excited to have the Devon Achane show on a global stage on Sunday morning in the States. So I really hope he does. And I think it'll pay off immensely, especially the Commanders. Without Daron Payne, defensive tackle, former Pro Bowler, who a couple times Pro Bowler, suspended one game for punching Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Lions last week. So without him in there, I asked Aaron Brewer about not having to face him, and he was like, "Man, amazing!" Like he said, I went against him earlier in my career, and in different words, he said, "Yeah, he was kicking my ass." So I'm glad I don't have to see him. So he was very truthful and straightforward. So hey, if he's out of there, then I say, just pound it down the Commanders' defense.
I'm looking forward to seeing what the Dolphin defense does because Mr. Weaver has done an outstanding job turning that defense around and figuring it out. So it'd be fun to see. And plus, Mariota runs a lot. I'm not afraid of him passing. Maybe you could turn him over once or twice in this game too. Just don't let him run because that's what he's going to want to do. He's going to want to run. That's where he's going to make a big impact, if any impact he's going to make on the field. All right, what's the prediction?
Yeah, and on that front, at least the Dolphins don't have to veer too far away from what they've already been doing. Josh Allen last week, Lamar Jackson the game before. So while Lamar Jackson lit him up, he didn't really run for that much. Neither did Josh Allen. So they have been sound in that regard. So ultimately, I do have the Dolphins winning a 24-16. I feel like the Washington isn't going to put up that many points. I do like the Dolphins defense staying hot, especially after shutting out the Bills for 3 quarters and a dominant 30-13 win against Buffalo. Yeah, I like the Dolphins to come away with a nice 8-point win, neutral site after traveling a whole lot. Maybe they score a little bit more, but I do like the defense to spearhead this effort.
By the way, you see the promotions out on the streets with Chop Robinson on it?
Yeah, of course.
Why do you think they put Chop?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I've been trying to theorize on that.
I got it for you.
Okay,
the trading deadline was the week before. They knew when they talked to him about this, they said, no, we'll use 2 on offense, use Chop because he's definitely not going to get traded. Let's not put Phillips or Chubb on there because they could be options. So that's why Chubb was on that billboard, because when they talked about this weeks ago, they were like, well, let's put Chop because that's safe. And think about it, Chop was on a concussion protocol. He just cleared now. So it had nothing to do with doing it now. That was done a couple of weeks ago. And why? Because Chop is not the one having the better year. It's Chubb. So it's kind of interesting that would be, you know what I'm saying? So that's really what it was all about, why Chop was on there. That's it.
Yeah, that makes the most sense to me. I was thinking about because I went back before I traveled. I was like, let me look back at all the promotional stuff from the off season and how they branded things. I remember it was off season. Remember, Tyreek Hill was kind of on the outs with how he had the locker room blow up. So you weren't seeing Tyreek on a lot of stuff, even though, he would be someone to market for his athletic abilities on the field. But yeah, you weren't seeing him. And I feel like, right, you would have seen Achane or something like those are fun, but he was also in some potential trade conversations. A lot of teams interested in him. So yeah, I'm with you. The trade deadline speculation has to be the biggest thing, especially the Dolphins. He was a first-round pick in 2024, second year, and they were not going to get the asking price for him from any team because his stock wasn't that high as someone who hasn't been starting, hasn't really had that many snaps. Now we should see a snap count uptick with Jalen Phillips gone and him now cleared through concussion protocol. But yeah, you hadn't seen that yet. So there was no way any team was going to offer what the Dolphins would have liked.
And the screwed up part is the only defender that should be on there is Jordan Brooks, baby. That's the guy that's been the best from beginning to end. Period. End of story. No more discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, and I don't think he was really in like he's a core player for the Dolphins as far as the leadership he brings. Yeah. Right. It is invaluable, those intangibles that he also brings in on top of the player he is. So I think, yeah, if as long as you have him on board, then yes, you want him to be a guy in that locker room, whether it is a rebuild, whether it is all right, soft, let's try to win, see what we got type of thing, and then go one way or another. So yeah, he's a guy that you want. He's a rock. He's solid.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _, and make sure you catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel as he's here live in Madrid with us. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch you on. Are you going to come over to the Irish Rover? We're 3 blocks from the stadium for postgame.
Okay, postgame. Now,
we'll probably have to do it on StreamYard anyways because you got to write. So.
Yeah, but you know what? It is a morning game, so I don't have because I'll have an early version of right at the buzzer what happened in the game. I'll have a pregame story. So I don't have the deadline pressure of having to send it in for print at a certain time. So but the only thing is I'm usually right after.
Yeah, dude, and the crowd and all that. It's just, yeah, dude, we'll do it on StreamYard. We'll do another stream there.
And I'll find a good spot there with.
Yeah. Plus, you're at the stadium, which is actually a cool thing. So it'll actually look better than you being at the stadium. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be cool. And it'll be too much of a hassle for you to walk over. But for all of you out there post game, and you're here in town, you know, come on over to the Irish Rover, 3 blocks from Bernabeu Stadium. Bernabeu Stadium. There you go. Yeah. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Be good.
Yes, sir. Muchas gracias. Buenas noches.
You got it. And we thank, of course, our friends at Welt Rheaume, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume. Bookend tackles, baby. They know how to get it done. And if you're unfortunately dealing with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, call my guy, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume. They are absolute bulldogs, man. 954-966-4646.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.